welcome to the Daily Echo. It is Tuesday, March 17th. I want to talk a little bit about Lee Iaccoca. I think older people realize and remember the name of Lee Iaccoca and what he did. He's been looked at as quite a CEO and a businessman. He took the Chrysler Corporation that faced bankruptcy, I believe, in 1979 and turned that company around and had billion-dollar profits. What some people don't know about Lee Iaccoca is his run with Ford Motor Company. He was brought in and eventually became president of Ford. He had a difficult time dealing with Mr. Ford himself. They had quite a conflict at times. I don't think they liked each other. I think that's the theme of Lee Iaccoca's book, is that they just didn't get along very well. Over the course of time, eventually Lee Iaccoca was fired from Ford and put out on the street. In fact, I think Mr. Ford said basically after he let him go, quote, "Sometimes you just don't like somebody." And so Iaccoca and Ford separated. Chrysler at that time was on the verge of bankruptcy and falling into a major collapse. And they had come to Lee Iaccoca to take over. He had come home, and the story goes something like this. He had told his wife, she asked, "Are you going to take it? Are you going to move forward?" And he said, I don't think anyone can turn that company around. It's in such bad state at this time. And his wife at the time had said something that got him quite a little bit irritated. She said, I'll bet Mr. Ford would agree with you 100% on that. Sort of implying that, you're right, you probably couldn't turn that around, and I think Mr. Ford would agree that you couldn't turn it around. With that motivation to prove Ford wrong, he went forward and made a miraculous turnaround. He took Chrysler to the government for the bailout because he knew they wouldn't let it collapse. And lo and behold, a few years later, this company's making record profits. The reason I mention this story is a lot of times in life, we're going to have people that don't believe in us. We're going to have people that tell us that's a stupid idea, or we're not going to be able to accomplish that, or you're crazy, you'll never do that. And most of the time, we believe it. Most of the time, when we fail at that particular attempt, we can use that and say, think in our mind, he was right, she was right, they were right, and move on as if nothing happened. The rare individuals use that as fuel to get through it. Nothing in life is easy that's worth anything. So if you go off on your own in your own business venture, or you go off on your own to do something, if you think it's going to be smooth sailing, then you're already going to run into some issues. It's always going to be difficult. You're going to have to overcome things. If it was so easy, everyone would be doing it. Most people hit that first roadblock and they turn around and go the other way. So what I'm getting at is utilize some of those things in your life, not as revenge, not as payback, but as motivation. And it's incredible if we can utilize, like Mr. Lee Iaccoca did here, the words from his wife stemming from somebody that didn't believe in him, that thought he was a failure, thought he wasn't very good at what he did, fired him from one of the biggest motor companies in that era. But that motivation of knowing, I can do it. And he worked and worked and worked and found creative ways to turn Chrysler around. So no matter what your challenge is, every one of us has some fuel that we can think of, a teacher, somebody. And not in a revengeful way, as I said, something to have fun and think about. Use those ideas and use those negative things that you've heard in the past as fuel, because you can do it. Every one of us can do it. We all have the abilities far greater than we think we do. So use the fuel that you need to accomplish the things that you do. Sometimes it's negative fuel, but if it allows you to take action and move forward, you'll do great. Have a great day. Have a tremendous Tuesday. We'll be coming back at you again tomorrow on Wonderful Wednesday. Thanks as always for taking time to watch The Echo.